going down. It started at the elbow and went down.
Yep.
They just sat there and literally watched my husband's arm turn red with scratches going straight down his arm. So, of course, he turns whiter than the back of that screen.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it.
And so, and if, like I say earlier, my husband, he's got some gifts and things where he can see and communicate and feel and that kind of thing. He's like, it's here with us. It's followed us. So that lets us know at that point we can move houses, we can burn the house and rebuild, or whatever the options are. The land is no longer an issue. We're not having these attacks based on where we are. It is now after us. So while we're there, he sees, they all see these scratches, and of course everybody's like pictures, trying to, it would have been great if we had had enough sense about us to at least think, oh, let's get this on camera and record it. But I think we were all a little bit too freaked out to even think about that at the time. So Wesley ends up, I guess he's the one that had the suggestion about everybody, him and Brandon and my husband going to the bathroom. So I'll let you pick up with that piece of the story.
Yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to try to get, to help use the mirror with reflection and stuff, trying to, do anything we could to get this thing captured on film. So we're taking pictures in there, trying to get the mirror, and we're still not getting nothing. So of course, by this time, after seeing Chris scratched, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. And I said, you know what? Are you too big of a wimp to show yourself to us? And then there started the footsteps. It was just real quick, back and forth. Me, Chris, and my son Brandon, we're all looking at each other like, what the heck is that? So my son said, is there something in that bathroom in there? We've got the, us men know we got the one stall at McDonald's. So we go over there, my son kind of, turns that knob and opens the door just a little bit. The footsteps stop, and then, of course, there ain't nobody there. I look at Chris, I look at Brandon, I said, all right, guys, we're done with McDonald's for the day. And then, of course, after that, we kind of went our separate ways. They went back to their motel, and Chris.
So we had quite a bit of activity at the hotel, and
okay, Roseann.
I was like, fill it in for me, because when we left there, we went back to the hotel and everything. Of course, we had all 5 kids with us now instead of just our 2. We had our 2 and my niece and 2 nephews. So a room full, nevertheless. And so we all get in there. We're pretty exhausted. All this kind of activity, the stress, the anxiety, stuff like that, it's got us pretty drained. So, of course, we get there, we're looking forward to just lay down, go to sleep, try and get up, start the day again tomorrow, have them come with us, see what we can manage. When we get to the room, everybody goes in. Of course, the kids are falling out on the beds and everything. We come in, set our bags down, shut the door, and as you know, with every hotel, you've got the 2 beds and the sink usually in the very back or whatever. And we're standing in front of the sink. All the kids are sitting down on the bed. And then all of a sudden you hear this horrendous just shaking on the door. It's like somebody was trying to take it off the hinges. And immediately me and him look at each other and our eyes get about this big around. And we jet to the door and he slings the door open. And this is the time of year in Branson where if you see one person walking down the street within a mile stretch, you've seen something, because it was the off season. He goes one way out the door, I go the other, because we're like some kids out here playing jokes. Right now is not the time to do that. Not to us. I mean, we were already at our wit's end. So he goes this way, I go this way. We look down the corners, nobody's there. So, did he call you at that point?
No.
Okay. I guess me and him actually stayed outside the room and we sat there and talked. And later on is when we ended up calling him. He and I stood out in the hall. And we were out there kind of talking about things and, what are we going to do? What if this thing never leaves us alone? And of course, the whole time he's seeing, it's about a 7-foot tall. I was going to say, go ahead and describe what you saw.
Well, what I saw was about a 7.5 foot tall, big towering man with a big top hat and it looked like he had a big staff or a cane beside him. And this thing just kept staring and just, you know, hazing and everything, and then all of a sudden, as soon as you'd see it, it would disappear.
Yeah. So, and a little bit out of order here, later on that night, my son actually had seen this exact same figure in the room that he had already described to me. So he had described it to me, my son came to me the next day and described the same figure, saying, I saw that last night, and they had not talked any. So, but like I say, back to the point where the door shook, we went to look and we're out there talking. He had a Coke bottle in his hand, and he had set it down on the ground. We were down in the foyer area between where the set of rooms was and the other one where you go down the stairs. So we're standing there talking, and the next thing we know, you know, like I say, he's seeing these different kind of shadows just kind of appearing here and there and everywhere, and we're hearing little noises and growls and inaudible words, I guess you could say. And the next thing we know, his Coke bottle goes sailing down the hallway, and it's halfway full. But his Coke bottle got picked up and hurled, kicked, whatever. And neither one of us were around it. It just goes sailing down the foyer while we were at the hotel. So, I'm going to say, I was going to say, either one of y'all can pick up from that point, because at this point, it was later at night, we went on ahead and called Wesley and Melissa back, because after the McDonald's trip and then this, I'll say, whichever one y'all want to go ahead and kind of pick up.
I know they called me, and of course it was getting pretty late at that point. It seems to me my only advice to them at that point, because I knew we were going to be meeting in just a couple hours, I knew everyone needed to get a little bit of sleep, is I told them, you know, just make sure that you all, you know, definitely say your prayers, and we'll be praying for them as well until morning time. Is that about right? Because there was nothing we could do at that point. The next morning, me and Melissa get together. It's me and Melissa, my son Brandon. I got my nephew Mark and his wife Christina. They're going to meet us in Greenbrier at their house, because like, you know, Roseann was saying earlier, safety, you know, in numbers, mass blessing is our thought. So we get down there for the second investigation. Next slide, please. Okay, we started, you know, Chris fed us, you know, like a wonderful person and family they are. They fed us and got us all ready. This is the second investigation, and we start off at what I call Melissa's arch nemesis, the bathroom. In this picture, you can see an investigator on the right hand or left hand side. You can see her arm with the camera. She's taking a picture of Chris there. Of course, they're staring into the closet, him and Melissa. Now, you don't really see nothing in the regular picture, but you zoom in and crop out where the camera is. You can see they're circled. There's a shadow right beside Chris in the camera. And after that picture was taken, Chris was pushed into the wall. That's something I want to point out. But we did end up doing an all-night investigation. You want to play that first audio? I don't remember what was that one. You hear the footsteps there, but that get out now, that was something else. We have no idea. Got a good idea, but yeah, the footsteps was me carrying a recorder. I think we were going from your bedroom probably into one of the kids' bedrooms. You can play the next audio if you would.